They say the truth hurt, but it's the lies that fuck you up. It been a long ride, ain't buckle up. I been on my grind, I bundled up. The moment you shine, you shut them up. Wouldn't be on her mind if I wasn't up. I told niggas it's time we should huddle up. We was all bumping heads and I didn't feel it. I be stuck in my head, I get in my feelings. And I ain't have a bid, now it's how I sellings. I want millions, I'm hungry like I was dealing. Ain't no chillin', the hoes that I fuck appellin'. I be willing to get cause it's all about giving. Ain't no chillin', this bitch said I need some.
Mic check, More Than Masters podcast. It's your host, mate, of course. I want to first thank all the supporters, listeners, anybody who shared the podcast, listen to the podcast, give me feedback about the podcast, whether it be on Instagram, my story, via text message, email, in person, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, any form of social media. I want to first and foremost thank all the supporters all the time, every week. Once again, without people supporting, I probably wouldn't be doing it as fluent and as great as I do it. And that goes just from the feedback to the pointers, the good things I do, the things you don't like, you let me know. So I definitely appreciate each and every supporter that I have, and nothing goes unnoticed. Anytime I'm giving any kind of advice or encouragement or anything, just for More Than Masters, I definitely want to appreciate all the supporters first and foremost. So shout out to you guys. So I'm in a mood, I ain't gonna lie, I'm in a little mood, so I want to talk. I just want to talk, honestly. And I just tweeted something a minute ago. I'm going to start there. I'm going to just go off rambling. I ain't got no rhyme or reason today. Sometimes, like, I keep hearing this term of, like, you know, you got this voice, you got this voice, you got this voice, you got this voice. And I don't know if, like, everybody knows exactly what come with that, right? So people look at, like, the stuff you do and they see the rewards you get or what they deem as rewarding that you get, whether it be popularity, whether it be phone call, whether it be when you out, people just seeing you and talking to you, whether it be like the feeling of being important. All those things may be like, I guess, anonymity to certain people. But to me, it's a job, man. It's a job, you know. Like, I've been doing this for a little minute now, and it's not gonna be like I've been doing podcast kind of talk, but I've been doing it for a little minute now to where, like, yeah, I've created a lane for myself and just for the things I say to be heard and want to be heard. So I totally agree with that. But what comes with that is, like, once you get that, I think people automatically assume, like, you have to take on whatever comes with that. Like, so now, like, you have to be a role model, you know what I'm saying? You have to be a mentor. Like, you have to. And don't get me wrong, I would do all those things. I've been doing all those things for a long time. You know, like, I've been a mentor. I've been a role model. I've done that, and I still do it. And I would do it for $0, just like I would do it for $100,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So that's nothing, but it's a lot that come with it. It's more to just, you know, people see the glamour and the glitz. They see when you out. They see you smiling. They see you win awards and trophies and these things. And they see, like, the feedback you get. They see the engagement you get. But it's a lot that behind the scenes people don't get to see, whether it be phone calls. I just was on a phone call a while ago. I can't say with who because they told me off the record. Even that is crazy. Like, I'm having a whole conversation with somebody whom, no respect to him, it's my guy, but, like, I didn't initiate this conversation. Like, I didn't wake up saying, like, hey, let's talk. You know, I didn't wake up saying that because of what I do, who I am, and things I've been doing lately, and who he is, and to what his field of work is, and it just coincides. He like, yo, we have to have a conversation, right? He's saying that we have to have a conversation. I just woke up and I just, like, went on my day. I don't feel like we do. Granted, we had a great conversation, and it may have been needed. I don't know. But I'm saying that's the kind of stuff that comes with, like, this, or, like, that voice, having that platform, whatever, that, you know, that people deem to be important and things of that nature. It's like, I didn't ask to have this conversation, right? But then also, like, somebody say, well, hey, this is off the record. And it's like, even those kind of conversations, like, we having great talks, and I can't even talk about it technically speaking because I'm still looked at as media. So media is like, you can't, like, if you do good media, you're not supposed to say, hey, this person said this. So, it's just so much that come with it. Like, mind you, I'm just trying to set up. I'm actually going from my car to inside the studio to set everything up, and it took longer because we were on the phone having this conversation. I'm just trying to get in mode to just do my thinking out loud. This is where I release. You know what I'm saying? I release my thinking out loud. I want to just give us off my chest, off my brain, talk about topics, talk to my audience, listeners, tell them how much I appreciate them, get that off, release, and enjoy my night, my day until I got to work the next day. That's all I want to do. And sometimes, like, with that voice that you have, because you're gifted, or because you have a gift that people deem to be supposed to be spread out or just given out to people. Things interrupt your daily progress, man. Like it's not that I don't believe I'm not a regular person because I feel like everybody's regular, but it's like some people can go a whole day without their phone ringing, uh, without being called upon, um, without having to worry about somebody else messing up and fixing that mess up. Like I'm messing my even my everyday life, my real life, fatherhood, as a son, with my situation now, as a brother, as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so much that like honestly, like you just and it's not even overwhelmed because I never like really I don't believe I ain't 'cause I don't believe in it. I do get fatigued sometimes. And I think that's what I'm feeling right now. I think lately I've been feeling tired. Even too tired to come here and set up like it was a time where I would get off. I could go to the studio. I stay there for 4 hours. I might record, might not put it out. But you just create and you create, and you throw away and you stuff some stuff you put out. You grow from it, you learn from it, and you just do things. And even then, I've been feeling fatigued just from life, different things in life. Um, Certain things I don't want to spend energy on. So I try to like go live and that's like even that's not a thinking out loud because people I have to joke. I have to be a personality. I don't have to, but I choose to. I like to joke. So I choose to be a personality as I'm on live. So if you ever watch my live, it's mainly jokes. Don't get me wrong, we sprinkle a lot of education, a lot of smart stuff in there, but it's jokes, it's playing, and it's just dialogue between me and people who are um, supporters of whatever I do, and whether that's just jokes, Facebook, personality, shows, podcasts, whatever. Um, and so I just want to say like that. I start the episode off. I do thank everybody. I thank anybody who looks and considers More Than Masters as a great big platform. I thank anybody who thinks that I have this gift or that I have this voice or whatever. I thank everybody that considers me when it comes to voting for things like that, or when it comes when people say, "Oh, who got the best platform here? Who got this? Who got that? Oh, what's a good place to go to?" I definitely thank everybody for considering me when it comes to that. I would just say people that want that, and that's whether in my lane and the media lane that want that, just know it comes with a whole lot of other things as well. It comes with a lot of side conversation, comes with a lot of shaking hands, comes with a lot of sometimes meaningful or meaningless dialogue. It comes with a lot of that's my friend, I know him. It comes with a lot of favors and it's a lot that come with it. Like it gets to the point where it's kind of political. You know what I'm saying? It gets to that point where it's kind of political in a sense. And it's dope. Like I love it. But in the same breath, like I'm always appreciative of it. But I think when I watch people who are in this space, that are in the media field, that are doing great things, because nobody does one thing just the best per se. I don't know. That's y'all to judge that, but um, I definitely think that I want people to be cognizant that even having a platform, having a great platform, having a good body of work, having a good name in media, it comes with a lot of other things and that can be draining sometimes as in addition to whatever you're going through in life. So whatever I'm going through in life right now, I think that has started to drain me, right? As far as creating, I don't have a problem creating. Don't get me wrong. I can sit in front of this camera and go like, or put somebody in front of the camera and go like, I don't have no problem creating. But I do think that I've been feeling a little fatigue lately, and honestly, I don't know if it's fatigue or if it's like I don't know. I was talking to my other day, and today I can't say his name, so it's hard to even keep referring to this person. But I think one of the differences, and when you think about platforms and think about whether you got this platform, whether you got this platform, I don't say names, none of that stuff. I don't really get into all that. Everybody's doing a great job, but I'll say like I pride myself on never putting myself into a box, and I think that's why I take it so personal when I think people try to put me into a box. I hate people say, "Oh, because man, he's more political," and it's like, well, because I have a politician on doesn't make me political. It just means that my platform has extended itself to a politician to talk politics. That doesn't make me political, Or like when I do stuff with the kids, that's just community driven. That's just the inner me wanting to have people look at something from a different angle. And with going to the angle, I have to sometimes tap into a different level of conversation, and that may be actually interviewing someone like a young student, We could talk about what the kids going through, what the kids not going through. But sometimes you got to talk to that student to give a different perspective. And I feel like I open up my platform for that. I might have a rapper on. I don't like rappers, but I have a rapper on. I might open my platform to that. I might have my kids on just to have that father-daughter conversation. I open my platform to that. Sports, open a platform to that. Arts, open a platform to that. It's no really one lane that I just feel like you're gonna box me into. I would do anything. Like I know it started a lot of BS, but whatever. But I posted the other day where I did a bottle girl and I had her on the podcast, which is odd because the person, like, that whole situation was kind of weird because even me posting that episode, it's a lot of behind the scenes people don't really get to know about, but it was an issue amongst two people or a group of people, whatever, I don't know. But the person that they took issue with was the reason that episode even happened, because they one told me, hey, you should tap into her because that's a good guess. And it's just funny how life worked, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't ever want to box myself into um, anything when it comes to media. I would interview sports, arts, church, politicians, political. I interview your average post office worker, your truck driver. I interview your Uber driver. Like I have an Uber driver episode actually. I've always been open to having dialogue or conversation with anyone I feel like can make certain ideas progressive. So when Uber first came out, I interviewed an Uber driver on purpose because I'm like, let's talk about, like, I want to know the ins and outs because you could talk about what you think, right? But let's put that conversation out there. Maybe it might make somebody want to be an Uber driver. I don't know. I'm not saying grow up and be an Uber driver and that's your end of life. I'm not saying that, but I am saying, like, I do try to create them platforms and that dialogue where it's like, you never know what you're going to get. I want it to be informative, interesting, funny, interesting, all things in one. Like, that's the goal. I never did a podcast where it's like, it's only one way. I try to make it funny. I try to make it entertaining. I try to make it, I try to give it a different perspective. I try to make it informative. I want you to learn. I want you to grow. I want you to be able to say, okay, I really don't like that. I'm not. I want all those feelings when I'm recording, and that's the goal I try to have when I'm putting things out. So I don't know. The voice is just like it, and it's not that I don't like want. I feel like this. And I'll be honest, I'll be frank with you. Like, everybody has that side of them. Like, the competitive side of me is like, yeah, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the competitive side is like, yeah, if not me, then who else? Right? That's the competitive side. That's the inner sports, inner, like, I want to win version of me. But I feel like, and I said this the other day, it's more work to be done. It's so much work to be done when I think about community. If I'm thinking about just Augusta, it's called More Than the Masters. Let's talk about Augusta, right? If I'm thinking about just Augusta, we got a podcast right now. It's called More Than the Masters. So my goal from the very beginning was always to talk about more than just sports. The Masters is sports. Golf is sport, believe it or not. Talk about more than just politics. The Masters is very political. You know what I'm saying? Talk about more than just racism. Talk about more than just economy. Talk about more than just political awareness. Talk about more than just all these things when you think of the Masters and what it represents. To the people in Augusta, the Masters represent a time where we're going to clean the city up because we got company coming. That's what Augusta is. That's what the Masters is to Augusta. To the world, it's this big tournament, this golf tournament that's like amazing. It's the best. It's the best of the best. It's the World Series of golf. It's the Super Bowl of golf. It's the NBA Finals of golf. To the world, to Augusta, is something totally different, right? And that's what I tried to make the podcast about, which is why I never boxed myself to know one thing. I never ever told myself or felt like, oh, I'm strictly the political boy. Like, I'm going only interview politicians, or I'm going to only interview rappers, or I'm going to only interview arts. I'm going to only interview major figures in the city. Like, some of my best interviews come from people who aren't known. And the reason being because they don't come with no agenda. They don't know, like, the best interviews for me be the people that don't know that they're needed, don't know they're a gem, don't know that the stuff they about to say is going to really hit people in a very, very important way. Those are the best people to interview. People that kind of got a name, that got a support group, that got it's a word I'm looking for. I just can't think of it right now. But got their own personality. You know what I'm saying? They come with a lot when you interview them. Just be honest, they come with a lot. Like because they already got things that they want to portray. They got things that they have to portray. They got things they want to say. They got things they want to get off. They want to be petty. You know, all this stuff. And I know about being petty. But they got all the stuff they want to do. And those be a little tougher because whereas on my agenda, I'm thinking like, okay, you're gonna do A, B, C, and get it done. But they thinking totally different. Like, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, I want to do that. And that's where the two worlds collide with interviews. And sometimes they don't make for a good interview. But I pride myself in being able to adjust. That's another thing I do when I'm interviewing a lot. I try to adjust depending on the guest. I don't like carrying the conversation because I feel like if I ask you a question, it's a podcast. So I had Jerron on. Jerron, my homie. So shout out to Jerron. But I had Jerron on. I remember saying it in real time, and I think I posted a clip, and somebody said, "Why you talking to him like that?" First of all, relax. But Jerron's my guy, so we can talk to each other a certain way. But even he said it after. He's like, I get nervous sometimes. But if you know Jerron, he's not a nervous person. He's actually a very talkative person, right? And so I'm asking him questions, but he give me answers like it's like he holding back. And I'm telling him like, yo, all right, it's just a podcast, right? So we're gonna talk. We're gonna have to say more than just it was good. I know. That's like I'm going on a tangent, but I don't care. Like over here, right? Like even conversation, like it's just like I don't like when I have to like drag it out. Like don't get me wrong, I can hold the conversation very well. I pride myself on that, whether it be on podcast or just in real life. I'm gonna ask you stuff about yourself. I'm very selfless, so a lot of times when I want to get to know somebody, it's not hard because I genuinely want to get to know them. Like I'm genuinely really asking questions about you because I care, but I want to know these answers. And anybody that knows me that has had the pleasure or not pleasure, depending on how you look at it, of getting like questioned by me now off camera. Now, mind you, like I even stop you. Like, hold on, no, midway, no, go back. But why? Why that? Like I'm asking those questions because it matters to me. I really want to know like more about a person. And so it's kind of hard when you have conversations like outside with, I guess, regular people because people don't really be caring to get to know people sometimes. It's really sad. Like people really don't be caring to get to know people. Like it's the same thing. It'd be like, oh, what's going on? I'm good. How about you? But even the how about you ain't really how about you. It's just like, just text back. Or, like just respond. It's not like they really caring to know. And I started to pick up on that with just certain conversations I've been having lately. And it's like, okay, this this ain't it. But, I pride myself on like understanding that everybody's not good at conversation, even though people want it. That's very strange. Everybody not good at conversation, but for some reason, everybody wants good conversation. And I can't make this up. Like, so you mean to tell me you can't ask me good questions? You can't get to know me. Like, damn anything I interest in, damn anything that I want to talk about. You don't have the questions to like ask me something to where I got to expound, right? But somehow, some way, when we're conversing, you're expecting to have good conversation. Well, that go both ways. You know what I'm saying? It got to go both ways. It can't go one way. So, seeing that sometimes is like it's not bothersome, but it put things in perspective for you. Like you really think like everybody. Nah, I don't want to say that. I'll say this, man. People, sometimes getting to know people is like it's a mistake. I'll say I don't want to say the bad thing in the world because it's not the worst thing in the world. Sidebar, people do that on podcasts a lot. We say these things like, that's the worst thing you can do, or that's the worst mistake you can make, or 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. One thing I really do, I pride myself on not giving y'all false percentages. Like, I don't believe in that. Like, I know I get it 9 times out of 10 mean mostly. I'm going to just say mostly, because why am I just randomly saying 9 times out of 10? Because to me, that means 90%. Like, I'm not going to just randomly give you some weird-ass percentage, unless I'm joking on Facebook and just be my personality where I'm saying like something like 62.7%. That's a joke. But people really be saying like, oh, now 8 times out of 10, if you do this, well, so you mean 80% of the time that I do this is gonna happen. No, it's not true. Like we gotta stop that. We gotta stop like just different random percentages out. Or random things like that's the worst thing you can do. If you starting this, that's the worst thing you could do. It's not the worst thing you could do. It's a lot of things you could do that's worse than that. I can tell you right now at the top of my head. So we gotta stop that, right? But what I will say is like, it's a mistake you can make getting to know people, getting to know whether it's personalities, getting to know people based off what you like about them. I firmly stand on this. Firmly, like there are people who and I don't want to say no name, but this sounds so crazy. It's probably messy, but there are people that I looked up to, that I admired the work that they was doing, that I supported, that I was a fan of, that I thought I had high, not hopes, but what's the word? I had high standards for them, right? And then I met them, or got to know them. It's just a mistake, bro. Like you just, I really believe in the term "don't meet the superheroes" because like people that you look, oh wow, this dude, and you finally meet them and you looking like oh, you down there. Not that you better than them, but it's like where you had them at just ain't where they at. It ain't where they at. And I've been going through that a lot. I don't know. It's like a lot that I've been going through. Like life is crazy like that. Like you'll get in the point in life where like maybe I'm at a point in life I'm just like over analyzing everything or analyzing everything the right way. I don't know. Time will tell. But you and then under analyzing people like you meet somebody for real like and y'all just on some cool stuff. You meet somebody y'all cool. You know what I'm saying? And like you realize like damn they really a whole vibe. Like for real. Like they like that. Like you meet them on some just cool, okay, what's up? You a cool person, you a cool person. Y'all click and you're like, oh, hold on. They really a 10 out of 10. Like that's hold up. Like where'd you come from? Like who birthed you? Like, like I need to see your DNA. Like, who's your mom? Who's your dad? Like, I need to know these things because like why are you a 10 out of 10? Like they don't make those often. Like what's going on? So it's a lot of that. Like that I feel like in life you gotta live, bro. Like I feel like you only get that with living. Like we so often we get so comfortable with regular. We get so comfortable with like rules. We get so comfortable with like doing the same thing every day. You gotta live a little bit. You gotta step outside the box a little bit. Live, do things you wouldn't normally do. I ain't saying do nothing crazy, but just within means, and really just kind of like let things happen. And I think that's the best way to put it. Like really just letting things happen. And yeah, man, I don't know. Just even with my thinking out loud, I feel like even though it's like a place for me just to release and just say things, because like I don't have no like topics to talk about. I knew I was gonna come in and turn the camera on and start talking. I knew that already. But you have these thoughts in your mind, and I know everybody can't formulate. Everybody can't speak well. Everybody can't speak to things a certain way. Everybody can't just entertain. I got a kudos the other day. Well, today rather. Once again, I keep alluding to this phone call that I cannot say who the person is and like that because they said off the record. It's really strange, but I can say some things they said, and one of the things was like, you've developed this platform where like you don't even need a guest, which I don't agree with, but I get where he was going. Like you don't need a guest. You can just turn your camera on and start talking. You can go live and start talking, and people are engaged and want to hear what you got to say. And I appreciate that. Like once again, I always start my podcast off by thinking aloud, appreciate anybody who listen to the podcast. I'm always do that because I don't take no support for granted. There's people out here that's there's people out here that go live on a regular basis that's putting out, quality content, maybe, to each his own. They putting out great stuff. They paying for studio time. They got this great camera work, multiple angles, and they're not getting a eighth of the support that I might get. They might get 2 viewers, might get 2 people sharing their stuff. They're not getting the amount of support. So I know, and they're working hard. So I know that, that support doesn't come easy. So I never take it for granted. Like anybody, I don't take it for granted. Now I will say I do get a little upset sometimes when like, okay, like people might ask, oh, let me get a shirt. And I feel like, okay, I get a shirt, but then you might not wear it. Like, well, what you want the shirt for? Like just say you got it, like support. Like, but I don't be tripping. I never cry. I never complain when somebody don't support or they do support. I just keep going. And I think that's another thing that set me apart. You will never see me get on social media and be like, this person ain't share my podcast, or this person didn't wear the shirt, or this person. I just don't believe in that. I feel like I like to support on whoever is supporting, and I will build from there. I would, before I complain about who's not, I'm gonna just brag on who is, and that's a bar. So let's stop that. That's the timestamp. Was that 24:55? Before I complain about who's not, I'm gonna brag about who is, and that's how I always move. Though it's not something I'm doing right now. It's not something that's cool for real. It's just something I always did. I never complained about who wasn't. I always just bigged up who was, and I build from there. That's a fact. But I was going somewhere with that before. But I said when I'm rambling, I just start rambling. I start talking. But they were saying like, you got this voice, and you can do it without a guest. I don't believe in that. I do like the guest because, and I'm gonna kind of conclude with this. I don't. I'm using the word I, but I don't move off of like I will, I did, I, right? In the sense of doing stuff community. I gotta tell you, when I did the alternative school, when I did the kids, yes, I went there and I set up whatever, and I was by myself and I did this stuff, da da da. But that came from the kids giving their honest opinion. That came from the kids taking interest in sitting down. That came from Miss Rochelle saying, Jermaine, call me on a Sunday and having this 10-minute conversation with me saying like, yo, I really need you here because this is going on in schools. It's really a problem. I like what you did at Josie, da da da. That goes back to Miss Lucky asked me to come to Josie, which was a year ago before I actually came, and then me doing that. So like, it's never a eyes. I have to say it's a we. It's a Miss Lucky. It's a Miss Rochelle. It's the kids at the alternative school. It's all those things intertwined in one. It's never I, but that's community stuff. And I say it to say like, people want progression. You know what I'm saying? They want things to move forward. They want Augusta to be a certain way. They want the kids in the schools to be better kids. They want the parents to be better parents. They want the teachers to be better teachers. But even any initiative that is set, it can never progress because people are so consumed with I. Like, they want to be the head honcho of something. Like, they want to be a part of nothing unless they the person in charge, or unless they the person that's gonna get all the kudos, unless they the person that's gonna get all the kickback. Like, they want the credit for doing this. And you gotta move a different way. Like, in order to, and this is my opinion, in order for stuff to progress, it takes a huge level of selflessness. Like, you gotta be okay with not getting the credit. Like, you gotta be okay with doing something and nobody even realizing you did that. But it pushed whatever you wanted to go forward. You gotta be okay with that. And the problem is a lot of people not okay with that. Please look, I did that. Like, that's my work. Please that's the reality of a lot of people. They want to be seen. I did that. That's my work. That's my work. That's corny. Like, and that's, I think I see that so many times. Or you get people that say like, a couple years ago, man, I had been said we should do that. Okay, well, that don't, who cares? Like, okay, you said it. So you had the plan 2 years ago. That's what's up. So how we gonna move forward now? Like, so bring that same plan you had 2 years ago and let's do it now. But everybody be so consumed with I or credit. They want the credit for doing something instead of just getting the work done. But I want to say about the students and just teachers, because I'm rambling, But when it comes to the students, right, teachers and parents, that the only war when it comes to students and education should be students getting a better education. Like, any other war should cancel right now. It should end right now. But the problem I see, the problem that I've talked about with people, and we've all came to the same conclusion, just from me interviewing teachers, me interviewing students, and me interviewing parents, me being a student, me being a teacher, me being a parent, and seeing different perspectives and seeing it from all different angles. The problem that I've seen is that, yeah, the war on students having better education is too many subsidiary wars. So you got teachers versus teachers. You got students versus teachers. You got teachers versus parents. You got students versus parents. You got principal versus board of education. You got schools versus board of education. You got the school versus community, teacher versus community, teachers on Facebook versus teachers. It's like, it's so many different small wars that we got. We got to stop all that. Throw that shit out. The only war we should be focused on is the students getting a better education. That's the only way. But everybody pointing finger, well, you're not doing this, or you're not doing that, and you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I can tell you this, it's everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody, if you really want to be honest. And I just break it down real quick. I'm not trying to diss nobody, diss no teachers, so don't take it the wrong way. But you got teachers that's not certified that are better than teachers that's certified. That's already a problem in itself. But we're going to stop there, because then you got teachers that's not certified that get told, hey, well, you're not going to be done in time, so we're going to have to not, have you as a teacher. So the teacher that's better than a teacher that's certified can no longer teach. Even though the students gravitate towards this person, they take a liking to this person, they're learning from this person, they got to go. Even though they're better than some of the teachers that's verified, that's certified. That's that problem in itself. But let's take that away. Then you got people that's not good, that's not certified. Okay, well, why are they around students for so long if they're not getting their work done? Okay, so you just blatantly not doing it. Okay, cool. So why are you around the students then? Because you're showing them the wrong way already. So already we losing right then and there. And then you got the war on teachers versus teachers. Okay, well, this teacher doing too much. You can never be doing too much when it's education. That we warring with. We at war with the students getting a better education. Somebody that's going above and beyond should not make you want to go against them as a teacher. It should make you want to learn and see what they're doing and push that culture as a faculty in all. But when you go to these schools, you do hear about it being a divide. You got some teachers that don't like that other teachers are doing too much, and you got some teachers that don't like that other teachers not doing enough. So that's already a war in itself. So who focuses on the kids? Okay. Then you got the parents, of course. You got parents who are not engaged, who aren't going to the schools. You got dads and moms that don't know their teacher's name, their kids' teachers' names. And I'm talking from little elementary school, middle school to high school. You got all of that stuff that's important. You got kids that just don't go to school and their parents okay with it. You got kids that don't have no kind of set discipline and their parents okay with it. It's a lot of different stuff. You got just students who are very, very disrespectful and they get it from their parents. You got students that are disrespectful and they get it from a teacher. You got teachers that's not professional. You got faculty that's not professional. It's a lot that go on if you were just pointing fingers. But I feel like everything I just said is null and void. It don't matter. All right, we know the problems. Now we got to fix it. So I hate the whole, teacher versus parent versus student debacle. I mean, it's funny on Facebook here and there just for, shits and giggles, but really the war is like getting a better education for these kids, because the reality of it is, even in Augusta, in the island community, it's not good. I ain't gonna sit here and down it, because that's not what I do on my platform, but it's just not good. You got some smart kids out there. You got some great teachers out there. Like, I'll never take away from any teacher. You got great teachers out there. Some of them not certified, some of them are certified. You got great coaches out there. You got people who have lived a life and was taught some hard life lessons that can teach it to students, whereas those students and those future doctors, artsy people, ball players, teachers, whatever, they won't have to go through it as hard as they went through it. So you do got a lot of, good culture here in Augusta. So I do feel like, it's everything's doable. It's all possible. But the reality of it is, we get so caught up in the eye. We get so caught up in the pointing fingers. It's the saying of when you point a finger, it's 3 pointing back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pointing a finger at teachers, parents, and students. Students pointing a picture at me. Teacher pointing a finger at me. Faculty pointing a finger at me. We all pointing at each other, but nobody is really giving a solution. But because everybody's a problem. But that's a story that I already know I'm not going to win that battle. So it ain't no point in going in deep in that. But I think, like I said, community can help. I got a voice. People tell me, you can help, you can do this. For me, I feel like it's more about conversation. I could bring stuff to the forefront when it comes to conversation. I can start that dialogue. I can give different perspectives, because I can tap into the teacher. I can tap into the student. I can tap into the parent. I can tap into the community. I can tap into every different aspect of that whole teacher-student parent war that shouldn't be going on, but that's going on. I think the most important war that we should be focused on is students versus better education in Augusta, Georgia. That's important to say, in Augusta, Georgia. But that's just my opinion. But back to, and I'll be going on tangents. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm rambling. But back to about the voice thing. I think That's another thing people say. You have the platform. You can start something without a guest, and I just don't think that's possible. I think my thinking out louds are that for a reason. Even this, if you made it this far, hopefully I ain't boring nobody. But even this, if you think about everything I'm saying, and if you ever had a conversation with me, this is how I talk. This is just me. So I'm not doing nothing special. At the very least, the only thing I'm trying to do is stutter as very minimal as possible, but that don't work sometimes because I talk too fast. I try to talk slow, and then I start speeding up. My brain start racing. I just gotta get it out, to the point where I skip some words sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. I skip a word in a heartbeat. I ain't gonna be stuttering. I ain't gonna be doing all that, but if I can't get it, move on to the next word. I taught myself. I taught myself that if I can't get to it, get to the next word, man. Oh well. I don't care what the word is. I get to the next one. You gotta figure it out at that point. I write the same way, right-handed. I write the same way. I skip a word in a heartbeat. But I feel like I can't do what I want to do with More Than Masters alone. It's always gonna be a we thing. It's always gonna be a us thing. It's never gonna be an I thing. Thinking out loud is more so for me, but people just happen to relate to it. These are my thoughts that I just have, and I want to speak on it. People agree, people disagree. We have dialogue. We have a good time. We joke, we laugh, ha ha he he. I like what you said. I don't agree with that. This is how I feel. And we go from there. That's what thinking out loud is. It's just really me just thinking out loud. It's not an I in it at all. It's just the fact that I'm on camera alone. When I go live, it's jokes, it's to engage, it's a thank you to everybody that supports me at the end of the day. It's just a thank you. I'm engaging, I'm joking, I'm laughing. I don't go live and be mad. I don't go live and be mean. I don't try to joke on nobody 24/7, like on some mean joking. It's always lighthearted, funny stuff. Support this person, shout to that person. I might tell a story about you, might add you on live. It's really to engage and create an atmosphere where people feel like they can touch me without actually touching me, because don't touch me for real, right? And then with the interviews on More Than Masters or the conversations on More Than Masters, that is to bring people to a world that they wouldn't normally be in if they didn't know me or if they didn't know the person. So when somebody come in for an interview, they know the person, they know me, or they know both, or they know zero, but because they watch some things I do, it pushes them to get to interviews. So I will say this. Sometimes there has been a time or two where Thinking Aloud has brought people in to watch interviews. Oh, you do interviews? Now, mind you, I was unbeknownst to this because I thought everybody knew me strictly for interviews. Thinking Aloud was just something I just did just to start doing. Shout out to Dorian, but I just did it, as a way to just speak. It wasn't to, be in the forefront. It wasn't to have this I mentality. It wasn't to do anything but release and bring, more of a fan base or support system to what I was already doing. And that's and it started doing that. I would actually talk about some of the interviews I had. So when I did Thinking Aloud at first, I would do it and I would say, I had such and such on last week. And I would say things that I couldn't say in the podcast because I gave them the floor. And I would say things that I should have asked. I would read some comments on the episodes. And I want to get back to that. So if you listen to this and you're an avid listener, would y'all want that? Do y'all want me to start reading some comments back on Thinking Out Loud? Do y'all want me to take questions? Should I have like a section where for 5 minutes I'm just like shouting people out? Like, what y'all want? I'm all ears, right? But that's what that is. And so people have watched Thinking Out Loud and then said, yo, damn, this is dope. What else you do? And they say, oh, you had this person on here? Oh, you had this person on here? And they start watching you. You do a good job interviewing. You do a good job interviewing. And if anybody been in the presence of me doing an interview, it's not edited. I'm not like sitting here edited. It's no dry space. Okay, next question. Ain't none of that. It's really just, I'll be off the hit with it. Because I really be caring. Like, I don't have, skip word. Skip the word. No, but it don't have to be like, it don't have to be nothing crazy for it to be meaningful for me. Like, I will literally just have questions just because I admire what you do, or because I'm intrigued in what you do, or because I want to know. Like, so those questions, they off the hip, but it's because I'm actually listening when you're talking. I don't have 10 questions and I answer question number 3. Hey, what's your favorite color? You say blue. Okay, what's your favorite food? That's not how I interview. You tell me your favorite color blue, I'm gonna say, why it's not green? You know, I'm gonna create more questions to create more dialogue to get you more comfortable, but also to open up conversations and just pockets in that conversation that wasn't there before. That's the art of doing it. It's really opening up the extra pockets in the conversation, whereas the convo is already gonna be good, but now you add little jokes to it. Now you add a little personality to it. Now you add a little why not this to it. You know, now you add a little more attitude to it, and you get more of a character. You get more character in that conversation. And that's what I want. I want all my conversations to have character to it. So I can't do it alone. I can't just be me and the camera. I have to interview people. I have to have people that whether they mean something to the city, whether they mean something to me, whether they mean something to themselves, to their home, to where they live, to their family, to Augusta. Like all that matters. So even my guests, like guests I have on are I know I'm super picky with the guests. Sometimes I get a flag for that. Sometimes I don't. You know, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. Once again, their voice. When people say you got that voice, that's what it comes with because naturally, if you got a good platform, you got a great voice, got a good following, people want some of that. Hey, how can I get on here? And I tell people all the time, the best way to get on More Than the Masters podcast is to do what the hell you're doing at a high level. That's it. It's no other, ain't no other way. Just do what you're doing at a high level. I'ma see you. Like I got notes in my phone, names in my phone, people that I don't know. We're not friends on Facebook. I don't know them, but I know they're doing great things at a high level. And when the time comes, I'm gonna tap them on the shoulder, and hopefully they'll sit down with me because it ain't about me. I'm not always the draw, and I'm okay. I'm not ashamed of saying that. I'm not always the draw in an interview. Like people hit me up sometime and I hit them and they say, "Oh man, I've been waiting for you to hit me up." I don't be knowing. I'll be shocked like, "Oh damn, you know me?" You know what I'm saying? Like you know what's going on because I don't be knowing, right? But then but then also it'd be like, I'm the fan, like, yo, I'm a big fan of your work, da 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 da. I want you on. Like, can you please be on? Yo, and they be like, yeah, of course, I come through. Like, so it's never like I'm not always the draw. But in order to get on here, like my guest wise, and that's the reason being because when people go through my YouTube page or you go through my audio files, my podcast, and you look at the guests I have, the conversations I have, the title of the podcast, and all that stuff, I really want people to know Augusta is more than the masses. Yes, we have bottle girls. Yes, we got politicians. Yes, we got great sports players. Yes, we got great art. Yes, we got great teachers. Yes, we got great civilians. Yes, we got a good group of people who throw this event. Like I'm doing everybody event throwers. People who do stuff for causes, whether it be Autism Month, whether it be the breast cancer walk, whether it be Pride Month. Like I tap into every single thing. I don't think it's one thing I just don't tap into. I tap into everything. Racism talks, I'm gonna tap into it. Juneteenth, I'm gonna tap into it. You know what I'm saying? I try to tap into everything because Augusta is somewhat of a melting pot, right? It's a melting pot if you look at it that way. But I tap into it and I want people to, when they go through More Than the Masters and they go through the guests and they go through the podcast, I want them to really see what Augusta embodies. And that's my goal. My goal is different levels of goals, but one of the goals I have is when people look at the body of work I've done, I do, they're able to get a good depiction of what Augusta has to offer, what Augusta's about, what Augusta is, what is there to love about Augusta, what is there to dislike about Augusta, what is there to like about Augusta. Like, I want them to be able to see all of that when they go to my page, which is why like I am very selective on the guests I have on because how do you represent Augusta? How do you embody Augusta? Like, what about you screams Augusta, Georgia? What about you screams More Than the Masters? You know, what about you screams, Broad Street? What about you screams the avenues? What about you screams Peach Orchard Road? What about you screams Gordon Highway, Deans Bridge, Riceboro Road? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about you screams 520? What about you screams I-20? So it's things like that I always look into like, okay, how can I pitch this guest as really being someone or really doing something that is synonymous with More Than the Masters? And sometimes it's a teacher. You a teacher? Okay, we got great teachers in Augusta. Cool. Sometimes they are your regular everyday worker. They might work at FedEx. Okay, cool. Somebody who lives in Augusta, Georgia, works at FedEx. That's more than a master's. This is an everyday living civilian. Let's talk about your life and what Augusta means to you, and we're building that conversation. Like it's to me, it's endless because Augusta does have so much more to offer. Like I've always said it. Augusta not Augusta, but the world has 52 weeks in a year. 52 weeks. The Masters is 1 week. 1 week. You're not gonna sit here and tell me or make me believe that 1 week is gonna define a city as beautiful as Augusta. It's just not going. You can't get me to believe that. Not when I'm living here and I see it every day. No, we got. It's endless. The talent is endless. The beautiful people we have is endless. The hospitality is endless. It's just a beautiful city all around, in my opinion. The culture, the history is rich. It's a beautiful place, and I think being able to tap into that, starting in 2016 till now, definitely one of the best things in my life I've done. Besides fatherhood and things like that, and being a brother and a sister, and being a brother and a son. Definitely it would be podcasting. So yeah, man. I said I was gonna do about 45 minutes. It's about 45 minutes. I think I'm about to wrap it up. I hope I ain't boring nobody. I didn't have no topics. I didn't have nothing. I just said I'm gonna sit down and talk like when I first started my episode. I don't know no timestamps of what I want to clip up and not clip up. Hopefully y'all can tell. If you're watching this, send me clips to timestamp, please, because I didn't take no notes at all. I just sat down and started talking. And this release was amazing. And the thing about releasing like that, you need these releases because if now I'm gonna end on this. One thing I can't stand, I think, is somebody who's selfish, right? I joke about being selfish a lot with people. I do joke about it, but I really can't stand somebody who's selfish. And I mean selfish in the sense of like a conversation is pretty much gonna always be about them. Like when they get to you, it's like, okay, well, they cut you off, or like it can't be about you. Unless like they just, helping you out. But like I never could understand that. Like it could be their turn, you could talk to them, it's about them, and get turned like they not interested or they fatigued from the convo now because they didn't talk about themselves for so long that they don't want to talk about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So something like this is important because I don't always get dialogue where like I can do that. And sometimes I feel like I'm boring people. So I will talk on a tangent sometimes after I've already, talked about them or try to pull what I could pull out them. Like if I can't pull it out you, I just can't pull it out you in a conversation sense. Like I try, but like, tell me more, give me more. But people can't give it to you, they can't give it to you. But one thing about me is I like doing this because you don't get it's nobody stopping me. I can switch to a topic without feeling like, damn, I'm over talking. I can just speak about something from beginning to end without getting interrupted. It's a good release. Even if you don't be on camera or you don't do podcasts or you're not a great speaker, I would advise for somebody to get a good release. If you got a therapist, get a therapist. If you don't have a therapist or the money for a therapist, when you're driving, turn the music off. Just talk. Drive, turn the music off. Just talk. Like, I can't tell you how much my mood has just changed from me talking these last 48 minutes. It ain't about nothing I talked about. It's the fact that I had so many thoughts in my mind that I felt like I was overloading my brain. So I had to get this release and talk about something, somewhere to somebody. And I chose the camera because, well, camera is a very unselfish person, to say the least, right? They're going to give me all the time I want. And I appreciate you, camera, for that. Appreciate it. Yeah. His name is Cannon, by the way. That's a joke. It's a Canon camera, so I said, okay. But yeah, man, One Masters podcast. I definitely appreciate everybody listening to the podcast week in, week out. Let me know your favorite timestamps. I'll post it. If you got any questions, any things you want me to talk about, thinking out loud, any suggestions, comment below. Send me a Facebook message, Instagram message, email at morettmasters@gmail.com. And I think that is it. One Masters podcast, we out.